So our new home page. This is hard to see, and again, the demo will be much nicer, but I'm going to walk through some of the changes on the home page. I did want to mention that when we designed this home page, everything that's on this page came from input from our customers and also input from our frontline customer care folks, the people that are in DataSource all day long and talking to customers all day long and helping them with their problems. Everything, including how it was laid out, the colors that we used, the descriptor labels, all that came from direct feedback. So quickly, I'm going to walk through. So here we have what I was mentioning, the quick actions. The next slide has this in more detail, so I'll cover that in the next slide. These didn't exist before, and we're going to walk through what those are and how they work. Updated company announcements interface. So now it's much easier if you're an administrator to issue an announcement to the other users in your specific instance. We have a customizable space here where you can customize what you see. You can have user alerts or activity alerts, unassigned sites, all kinds of different things that you can edit and personalize. We've added these two dashboards. This first one here is alarm activity. And again, we got a lot of feedback on how to structure this and to make it as easy as possible to understand. There's also a toggle here to view all activity, and that gets you to the interactive dashboard, and we'll show you how that works. And then we have one for service jobs. So for a long time, we didn't display service data on DataSource. Now we've got all our service jobs, all that information coming through, and we've created this dashboard to speak to, what's open, what's closed, different items, and we've also added this parts pending piece, which was something that customers were asking for. So more on these quick actions. This is my favorite feature. It may not be your all's, but I was really excited about this. So what we did was we put the things that customers use the most, the repeated actions, we put them on the landing page just because we wanted them to be easily accessible. So these things, for the most part, already existed. They're just easier to get to with fewer clicks. So you can request service. This will take you to a web form that walks you through picking out which site and which system needs a service ticket, and you can add notes and whatnot, and it's, I think, faster than going through the 800 number. Might even be faster than going through the work order at tyco.com email, just because it gets all the information that needs to be sent. And, in the past, if information was missing, they would have to chase you down to get, what system was it, what type of work do you need done. Managing service notifications. This is actually a new thing that folks may or may not have access to today. It's open to everybody. And what that is you can enroll at the site level, so for a specific location, to receive all the work order request information, even if you're not the requester. So if you enroll for a site, what you will get is a notification when a service ticket has been requested and created. You will get a notification when the technician is en route to that location for that ticket, and it'll have his picture and his name and picture and information on the actual ticket, the comments, the work that was requested, and an ETA when we expect that person to arrive, given traffic and distance from where he's coming from. You'll get another email notification when he arrives on site, so he pulls up and checks in that he's at your location, so you know that he's there. If you want to look for him or not, he may not even be at the same location, but you know that he came on site. And then you'll get a final notification when the ticket has been closed with the comments from the technician on the work that was performed. Moving on, there's a link to manage contacts. You can come in here and manage all your contacts, and then a quick link to view and edit your report, which I know a lot of folks on this call use regularly. Level structure. So for the administrators on the phone, the level structure is probably something that you work with every day. We didn't change the functionality of the level structure, but we did move it. So now it's on the left. Give it as much real estate as possible. It's expandable and collapsible using these little carrots. There's new icons. So this little icon here, it's an eye with a line through it, means it's a non-monitored site. So it's a site that's there for service only of another system, maybe video or access control. And it's pretty cool. So this here is actually the service request web form, but it shows up wherever you need to select something in the level, either a site or a higher level group of sites to either do reports or in the dashboard. You'll see it moves with the dashboard when you choose different sites. But this now is a standard feature on the left. Activity dashboard. So this is actually some new functionality that we've employed. Like I said, here's your level structure. If you were to choose region 4, this would automatically update to show the information for that region. If you were to choose region 3, it would automatically update to get you that information. The dashboard itself is interactive. If you click on pieces of the dashboard, it'll populate or remove that data from the list. The list will show up in grid format below, so you can actually see the data. There's also a toggle here, and this is something that customers specifically requested. I want to see a day's worth of data versus a week's worth of data. You know, show me if there's something happening over the last week versus just the last day. And everything is exportable to Excel. So if you get to where you want it, this region or this site, it's this much information, there's a quick export that you can do if you want to look at that data in Excel. Last but not least, similarly, we have our service dashboard where you can manipulate the level structure to show what you want to look at, and the dashboard itself is interactive. You can click on just pieces of it if you only want to see open jobs or parts pending jobs, and it'll automatically populate the grid below. The one difference is there's also an expand collapse feature here for the details. So if you wanted to say, look at this specific job, let me understand what's going on, why are we awaiting parts, it'll give you the technician comments and any other information related to that job, including all the date and time stamps. Oops, I had one more slide. I guess I was sitting, I forgot about this one. So reporting tools. The functionality of the reports hasn't really changed. We've just made it a little bit easier to use. We've put exceptions and events all in one place, whereas before I think they were two different report screens. So you can choose events versus exceptions. You can add and remove sites or levels to the filters for reporting, and you can choose all the event types you want. It's also customizable. You can choose 24 hours a week, or you can specify a date range and pull 10 years worth of information if you like. You hit the search function. It looks, the report looks like this, and this is hard to read, but you can export it to Excel to look at it in more detail or to do analysis on it. So some additional tools. The email communication that went out last week would look like this. I think everybody should have gotten one if it didn't hit a spam filter. If you didn't open it, you're probably going to get another one this week as a reminder. Within that email, there's a link to this FAQ document. If you pull up the document, it looks a lot like this. Basically walking you through some of the changes we just talked about. And what we've also made available just for our super user customers, the folks that attend this demo, is a self-guided prototype. And so what that is, if you go to the link, you will be able to pull this up in, I think it's a PDF, but it's an interactive PDF, and it walks you through clicking on pieces of it, going to different tabs, just to help you experience some of the changes before they go live next week. And so after this call, for all the attendees today, I will be sending you an email with a copy of this presentation, the FAQ document, which went out in the general email, and a link to this self-guided prototype. that you can play around with it. I know customers have been clamoring for this prototype. It's not going to be available for a long time because once we launch, you'll have access to it in your, access to the new features in your own account. But we wanted to give you a little bit of a preview and let you look around if you have questions. With that, Natasha, you ready to do demo?
Yep. Yes, I am.
All right. Let me make you presenter. Again, once we finish the demo, we will open up the lines and be happy to take everybody's questions and feedback. I can see it.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. Terry and is very excited, so we are very excited to show this to you because we worked really hard on this. We have listened to your requests, and we have worked very close with our customer service because they also know how you work and what you need, especially on the dashboards. So we've carefully crafted the dashboards using the most important data points that you work with commonly every day, and this is the result of it. Just like Terry mentioned, the application has got a complete redesign. It's looking completely differently, so there will be a little bit of learning curve, but we made it more intuitive, and hopefully this curve is not going to be too curvy. Homepage has new elements on it. We wanted to make sure that it's very informative for you. Company announcements is old message center that we put up top so you don't miss any of your announcements or our announcements. You have a view of unassigned sites and alerts. It's permission-based. Admins have more information here. Every page has activity dashboard and service dashboards if you both subscribe to both services. Activity dashboard shows data for the past 24 hours, and you can hide or unhide blocks of data if you want to look at some specific data. So this one doesn't have a lot of information, but maybe a service I can show you. Like if you hide specific blocks of data in the service dashboard, you can see how that dashboard is changing to show you more details on the data that's left. If I turn off service jobs, you see more scheduled jobs. Quick actions block. Thank you, Terry, very informative. All the most relevant actions that you can perform on the site, also permission-based. And you have your little DataSource marketing communication block here. We'll inform you on what's new, what's coming. This is for our marketing announcements on the conferences that are upcoming that you can attend, all the messages that we believe you need to receive from our marketing department. So just like I mentioned, the activity dashboard shows the current stats for the past 24 hours. But if you want to run a specific report, there's a link, View All Activity or View All Service Jobs, that will send you to corresponding sections where you can run an extensive report. But we have created in each of the section, activity and service, we've created these dashboards in an interactive way. So here, once again, you can turn on data on and off, and view the dashboard data. When you hover over the chart, you can see the information. But this dashboard in activity section and the service section dashboards are interactive. I mean, we did have dashboards before, but they were not so informative. They were loading every single piece of data. They were hard to use. They were not interactive. Right now, if you click on the data, it will generate a report right here. The activity dashboard has a toggle to switch between past 24 hours and past week. And you can see the past week has much more data here. Let's click on the chart. It will generate a report for you. And it's loading. And the reports are also, let me do another way. So this piece of data. So you see that the report is generated. We have organized it in the form of grid. It's much easier to read than a list of data. It starts with the site address, and store number, and the date, and the report dashboard reports are downloadable to Excel for you, for your convenience. It also responds to level structure. Just like Terry mentioned, you need to click on the level structure on a specific item in the level structure, Thousand Oaks. Let's see what's happening in the Thousand Oaks. Nothing's happening. So yeah, as soon as you click on the DataSource level structure, you will, let me try to find another area where maybe there's more data. It's a test server, so there's a test data in here. Past week. Nothing happening for this client, Terry, and that's good. That's good. So as soon as you click on the level structure, you see it's automatically reloading the data. I'm going to go back to our top level to get back to the data. A quick note about the level structure. Level structure also has been redesigned. We slightly changed the expand collapse controls. You make a selection still by clicking on the item, but we wanted to make sure that you have enough information here about the elements of the sites, and it's easier to look at. We gave it much more space, vertical space here in the left panel, and if you remember, there was a little bit block underneath the level structure in the old data source that's called site data. So we have relocated it on top of the content area. So as soon as you click on any particular site, this will generate the information for the site here, site address, site phone number, and you can expand the section and view all the phone numbers that are listed for the site, CS numbers and their descriptions, and you can also edit phone numbers or CS descriptions. And if you don't need it anymore, you can collapse it, and every time you click on another site, it will update the information in this little window. Favorites and site search work the same way as they did before. We just slightly renamed items. Just a note I wanted to make that we have updated the site map. Basically, we changed the names of some of the sections. We have slightly relocated some of the pages. So, like for example, site management no longer is called site management, it's called sites. We have moved some of the account-related items from site management to account section. And here in the data source help, which we completely updated, we have a section what's new in the data source, and site map updates page shows you how you can locate all the old pages. If you have lost a page or two, you can just go ahead and open this particular page in the help and see, okay, I'm looking for site management zones. Where are they? They are in site zones. Or I'm looking for user management. Where are they? Where is it? Now it's in account security users or billing user management, account billing users. So it's very clear navigation to what the new site map is. Service section also has an updated dashboard. It's also interactive. Service dashboard report also can be downloaded to Excel. And the difference to service dashboard report and then in general service grids is that each service job is presented as one row in a grid, and it's the row is expandable. Just like Terry mentioned, you can go over all the details. We didn't want to overwhelm you with the amount of details related to service jobs, so we only showing you the most important information in the grid, and everything else is shown in an expanded row underneath the main row that displays the main info for this job. We also converted some of the data points to icons, to indicators. Like, for example, status is now showing as a little dot, colored dot, and those colors correspond with the colors in the dashboard. So open is bright blue, scheduled is dark blue, and the parts pending status is kind of gray blue. And it's a new status, by the way, something that you requested. We wanted to accommodate you with this new piece of information. We know that's important for you to know how many jobs are pending because of parts pending. So we are showing you this data as well. It's a part of the dashboard. And just like I mentioned before, every time you want to run a specific report for a specific time frame, you can go to a corresponding service reports or activity reports, parts usage report, test report section, and run a specific report. We have also redesigned all searches for reports. And let me see if I can get any data for this particular report for service jobs. Let's try past week and see if we can find we can have any data. So there's no data. Let me go to higher level. I really want to show you how the report looks because we have updated the look of all reports on the site. Maybe I need to go to more details here. We have updated the look of all reports on the site. Before, reports were like blocks of information per site. We are showing them in a grid format for you. So it's much easier to look at, much easier to navigate. The report view also has an expandable row, so it's just loaded. Each job has its own grid row, which is expandable, so you can view the additional information for each job. It's a very convenient feature. You can download to Excel, formatted download, and if you forgot what status, which status get which color, you can hover over and it's going to give you a hint of what it is. We also converted job type to an indicator. So if you see a little wrench here, it means it's a service job. So we right now are not searching for inspection jobs, but if it's an inspection job, it's going to be a different icon. Or if it's a mixed report, you will see that both types in the search. So we also have updated the interface for the rest of the application. We worked most of the work was put in the homepage, activity, and service sections, but the rest of the application is also updated, got new interface. We have slightly updated the edit level structure interface, and I don't know if, I can show you a new interface for edit level structure. We also made sure that let me see if I can go to some level that has sites so you can see. Merritt Island should have, so Merritt Island has some assigned sites. If you want to unassign the site, you can just click and click on assign selected, and it will be moved to unassigned site list. So it has a new interface, much cleaner interface, and the level structure view also follows our main level structure interface. We also added a piece of information here for edit level structure. If the level structure is locked by an admin and you're an admin and you go to edit level structure and you see that the level structure was locked, basically somebody else is working on it. So you now have all information for this administrator that locked level structure. There's a phone number, there's an email address, so you can click on it, contact this person and say, listen, what are you doing? I need to do some updates. Can you maybe save your information and I will take over. We have also extended the live session, the lifetime of a session in DataSource before you got thrown out of the session for inactivity time. Right now we extended it to 30 minutes. On the 25th minute, if you're inactive, you'll get a confirmation, hey, you've been inactive for 25 minutes, do you want to continue or do you want to log out? And if you are inactive, you will be logged out within in the 5 minutes, and if you click continue, you'll just continue working until another 25-minute period passes and you'll get another confirmation. So just keep working, and if you will get that if you open DataSource in more than one tab, you will get that inactivity confirmation in that second tab. So just watch out for this. And for those of you who have billing users, we have another good news. Before, our billing users were deactivated as users because they would log in every 30 days to pay the bill, and we need you to be logged in at least every 30 days. So if you miss that 90 days. If you miss that 90-day mark, then before DataSource would make you an inactive user. Should we change that? We expanded that DataSource account lifespan to 120 days. So your billing users will not be deactivated anymore. They will, as long as they continue logging in at least every 119 days, they will not be deactivated. They should have to change the password. That's a security requirement. We are working with amount of security data, very sensitive data, so it's a general requirement. Every 90 days, they'll have to change the password, but they will not be thrown out of the system as a DataSource user. So this is covered. This is good news. And I'm actually really excited to have you guys available for us on the phone, because this is the time when you can say and communicate and verbalize all your pain points, all your concerns, all your requests, so we can log everything and see how we can implement all your requirements. And this is the time to voice them, this time to say what do you want, how can we make your life better, easier, and more efficient. This is it for me. Terry?
Yep, thank you, Natasha. So, operator, I think we're ready to open up the phone lines for Q.
Certainly. We will now begin the question and answer. Please make sure to unmute your lines before asking a question. And also, please mute your phone or press *6 to mute your lines when not speaking to avoid any background noise. I will be opening up the lines now for the question and answer.
Good morning, everybody. Anybody have any questions or comments, feedback? Tatiana, do we have any questions in chat?
Hi, Terry. There are no questions currently in the chat window.
I guess everybody loved it.
Well, it is different. It is pretty slick looking.
Thank you, Terry. We tried.
Yeah. So we are going to continue to make enhancements. We've got probably a good year's worth in the backlog, but we're looking for ideas, things you really think would be needed. I know you probably need to absorb this change and play around with it. So when you get an email from me, you'll have my email address. If anything comes up and you think would be a good addition or change or enhancement, I can feed them directly to the development team. We did get some ideas on previous sessions. This is our third session talking to customers about DataSource. But if you've got anything, feel free. We're here to listen. I know it's Monday morning. It's early for us, and we're on the East Coast, so, you know, depending on where people are, it could be even earlier. Oh. Okay, well, you know, folks are good. I will send the email out with the prototype. Feel free to ask us any questions. I know in the other sessions, folks said they needed some time to absorb it and maybe come back with some suggestions. But we're really excited about this change, and we're really excited that we've got some runway to do some more work in the upcoming year. Our fiscal year starts October 1st, and we've got some more enhancements planned to come out. Probably not as big as this one because this one's a huge visual change. Just the look and feel of the app is very different. But as we make the enhancements, we'll be sure to communicate those out so you know that they're there or that they're coming. All right, so if there's no other questions, operator, I think we can end the call.